Alright, what's up everybody? So I have a previous video where I was going through setting up Turtle WoW. I never set it up before. I didn't know how to set it up. It's just something I was just doing on my own while I was streaming. But I came across after setting it up some issues. One being resolution issue. It wouldn't let you change the resolution. It would only go up as high as 1600 by 1200. But anyways, we'll go through this. I was going to show like exactly how to go through installing it, but right now Turtle WoW, oh, actually it's up a few minutes ago. The host was unavailable. Obviously you're going to go to the website, turtlewow.org, download the client. Basically, once you download it, you'll get a folder, downloads. You can come across it right here. Turtle WoW MOA. Obviously, you need to right-click extract or use WinRAR if your computer doesn't extract. And then you get the actual folder unlocked. And this is what it looks like, right? Pretty base. You can easily, just start it up. You don't have to install it. It comes pre-installed, essentially, right? Get in the game, that's what it looks like. Typical classic WoW. Already gone through the intro, so I'm not gonna worry about that. This is what it looks like, right? Go in, video options. Doesn't give you much, at least not for me. Maybe for you, the resolution's fine. If you're only using maybe a single monitor, that might be the problem. For me anyways, is because I have my laptop hooked up to my TV, so it's a dual monitor setup. For me, I think that was the problem and why it's not allowing me to choose multiple resolutions. But that's, it's pretty self-explanatory getting the game installed and going. But there's more to it than that, right? You got Turtle WoW HD project. This enhances the graphics of the game. Right, which is one of probably the main selling points of playing Turtle WoW, other than the fan-based expansion. For some people, you just want to scroll down. You want to download patch A, patch B, patch C. Go to your folder that you extracted. Go to data, and you just want to copy and paste those in data. Actually, I'll show you because I have two. I have the base game, and then I have my game that I've altered. Right, so you go in. Copy and paste your patch A, patch B, patch C into the data folder. All right. After that, it should look something like this. Ignore the stuff on the top because that's not it. Oh, I did actually load it twice. So you'll get, after installing those HD project graphic upgrades, you will get some refracting on the loading screen. I don't know why that is, but as far as I've noticed, I've only really gone through the intro myself. It doesn't, obviously, as you can tell, pass into the game, as far as I'm aware. But this is what the game looks like after you upgrade it. Basically, it just sharpens it, increases the clarity, makes it so it's not so blurry. Essentially, that's what those patches are gonna do. Next, and essentially there you go. Those are the upgrades. There is a thing called vanilla tweaks, which tweak the game a bit. For some client fixes. They have it here, vanilla tweaks. Right? It basically just using vanilla tweaks yourself, blah, blah, blah. It's a one-time thing. You mod your exe, right? And then it fixes which corrects the field of view of the game to look correct on 16:9 displays, right? Yeah, so essentially you download this, you go back to your WoW folder, you get a thing right here, vanilla tweaks. All you have to do is take your WoW exe directory, place it on top. They'll combine together and it'll create another shortcut called WoW tweaked, and that's what you'll use to enter the game. You can do that if you don't have monitor issues and you're not really interested in installing Reshade, or even Special K maybe. Maybe that works for you. But for me, that kind of conflicted with things because I had the resolution problem. And for the resolution fix, once again, as you can see, a lot of people do, tried everything to fix the resolution. Try everything. Can't select resolution above 1600 by 1200, which is essentially the problem that I had. Resolution problem. Resolution. It's a common issue. Resolution problem. Right? It's all over the place. If you go into one, they got a lot of solutions for you, right? Just at Turtle WoW forums. They got a lot of good fixes. You can change the config file, right? Go into the config file, which is in your WT what the fuck folder, right? What the fuck folder. Config file. Go in. They have set GX resolution here. You can change this to 4K or whatever your resolution is. Right? Exit, save it. Then they say restart your computer, load the game, and it fixes it for them. Others say they have to delete the WDB folder, and then it fixes it for them. It did not work for me, really, as far as I'm aware. At least, I don't know, it's situational because it would fill my screen, and it was different than because an actual 16 by 1200, if it's on a 4K, it's really just gonna box it. So it's kind of misleading because it seems as if it's working even though it's only 16 by 1200. Because the other solution some people have is using Special K. That's what this guy is suggesting. Right, get step by steps, download Special K, rename the Special K DLL file to D3D9, blah blah blah. And then that will you can have that force a 4K resolution. But as far as I'm aware, the game looked the same. Even though it says it was filling it to 4K. But then the problem with Special K is you can't have reshade, right? Because reshade, as far as I was aware, going the vanilla tweaks route, the only way I could get reshade working is selecting DirectX 9. I'll show you real quick because I have what it looks like if you want to do reshade, because reshade is definitely another way that you can upgrade, try to make the game look even better, right? Right, I got reshade here. This is what it looks like when you load it up. You want to go to browse, you want to find the game. I guess if you were to do the vanilla tweaks way, you would select the WoW tweaked, hit next, and then it asks you what API you want to use, right? The only way I could get it to work is DirectX 9. But then even then, reshade only kind of half worked, right? There was still a lot of errors. But this is the only one that I could get it to work, right? A solution to that, and a solution going back to the resolution fix, is basically you have Turtle WoW wiki. Just do Google Turtle WoW wiki fixes, client fixes and tweaks, right? They got a list of everything that you essentially need. It took me a bit to find this, even though it's actually kind of funny because if you go to the resolution screen and scroll down a bit, it's actually right there, not far away. I was wasting my time on these top two for a really good while before I stumbled across it. But that is what you're looking for, because this is going to have all your answers, right? So for one, vanilla fixes, that's a main one. Vanilla fixes essentially is changing your API from DirectX 9 to Vulkan. And that's important for a couple reasons. One being going back to the reshade, right? Because one of the issues we had you wouldn't use is that you have to use DirectX 9, but this changes it from using the old DirectX 9 to Vulkan. So you can install vanilla fixes, right? You want the DXVK, but in order to install it, because this is actually going to inject files or alter your files so it comes up as a virus, you actually have to go to Windows Security right here. Enter Windows Security, go to Virus and Threat Protection, go to Manage Settings, and you have Real-Time Protection. You want to turn that off. And then you want to go into your browser. Right? I'm using Google. It's probably very similar for Edge or what have you. Hey, what's up, man? Then you want to go to your settings on your privacy and security settings on Google. Go to security, and then you're going to want to turn this off as well. No protection, right? It's going to warn you, whatever. The only way that you can download vanilla fixes is if you turn off your Windows security and if you turn off your security for Google. Once you do that, you can get it. I have the gameplay. Essentially, I got it up. I'll probably be there in like 10 minutes or so. I'm just going through fixes right now. The fixes. So then once you get vanilla fixes up, you want to extract it again. Basically everything nowadays is compressed and you want to extract. And you want to put all your files, all your vanilla fixes in your main directory file. And then you should get something that looks like... Where'd I go? Vanilla fixes. Turtle. Where'd my vanilla fixes go? This is just a text document. All displays. It should be down here. Let me just throw it back in there if I can. Fixes. Here, you get the folder, extract. Vanilla fixes. All right, we'll just take the whole thing. Copy, go to your folder. Maybe this will break it because I already have. Hey, what's up, Mac? All right. Tomorrow's the last day. That's what's up. What's up. All right, then we go back to our folder where we threw that in. Vanilla fixes application. And obviously yell at you. You want to run anyways. And this will boot the game up. And this will boot it up proper. Because as I mentioned before, you get a lot of issues with reshade if you do the vanilla tweaks method. But if you do the vanilla fixes method, now you're running it on Vulkan, and now you can install reshade, and then you can choose to install reshade using Vulkan, and then your reshade should actually work, right? Because this is it actually turned on, right? I have it running here. You can download obviously a lot of textures and shaders and such like that. Really the only thing I'm looking for is HDR, Marty Mods, MXAO, and then Convolution Bloom. You can play around with, obviously I'm not going to go into Reshade in depth a whole lot. You can watch tutorials on how to operate Reshade. Essentially, once you get it open, you use your home button. All right, you go to settings. I like to change this to block input when cursor is in overlay. Change your effect toggle to insert, or whatever button you want, really, but I use insert. That's what's turning it on and off. And this is what the game looks like now, right? Resolution, to solve your resolution issue, which I clearly have solved it right here. You want to go back once again to Turtle WoW Wiki, and you're looking for vanilla multi-monitor fix, right? So since I have my laptop plugged into my computer, this was my issue. It just was not detecting it. You need vanilla fixes installed for this to work. And then you obviously download this, inject it into your folder. And then you'll get something like, 50-minute tutorial. That's what we're going for. Then we'll go, you want to hit show all display devices, right? Hit show all display devices, and you're looking for device index. This is showing you, I think, a 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever the number is, mine being 4. You remember that number, go back to the text document that comes with it, VMM fix preferred monitor. Open that up, and it just has a number. I think by default it's 1. Now you're just gonna change the number to whatever number was in your show all display devices. In my case, it was 4. I just changed the 1 to a 4. Exit, save it, and then now when you load up WoW, you're gonna always want to use your vanilla fixes application, which it's right here. They used to have an icon. I don't know why the icon's not showing up, but it's right here. I always will just load up the game through vanilla fixes. Every time you click that, it'll load it up, which obviously we already have an instance going. And then once you get in, now you should see all the different resolutions available to you. I have to, every time I load up the game, I have to change it to 4K. Slightly annoying, but at least we have a fix for it, right? And essentially that's it, right? We showed how to set up the game. We showed how to set up Reshade, how to get vanilla fixes going. Obviously there's more to here, auto login. It's like if you run into a character limit, there's a lot of fixes on here. So if you're interested, just go through the WoW Wiki, Turtle WoW Wiki, and just poke around. That's what I did. Ended up finding the vanilla multi-monitor fix that fixed the resolution issue for me. Vanilla fixes fixed the Reshade problems I was having. Now everything works for Reshade. There should, I guess, be something to say about Reshade, is that you can have, there's different versions of Reshade. One being just its base model, and then the base software, and then there's add-on ones, which, they're modded and they have more control over a lot of the textures and shaders. These will get you banned if you use the add-on versions. These will get you banned, they say, on multiplayer games. They should only use them for single-player games. Being that I don't really care that it's Turtle WoW, I'm using them because you can use add-ons, stuff like that. Because if I get banned, I get banned. I wouldn't really care. I'm not cheating, really, but it just allows you to make additional, as Max said, never use add-ons. It'll get you banned from multiplayer games. But I'm not using it to cheat. I'm just using it for additional enhancements, right? Because I got like Marty mods. I have his additional he goes by Pascal Gilcher, right? Because you can get RTGI, which is ray tracing. If you go to his Patreon, it's like $5. He's got different scaling things, $5, $10. But he sells all sorts of textures and shaders and ray tracing that you can add to Reshade. It's actually funny because he goes by this is Marty Mods. When you install Reshade, you can choose to download a bunch of free textures and shaders, and he's one of the packets that you can download for free. But if you follow him through his Patreon or his websites, he actually keeps going with updated versions of them and even more. So if you're interested in that, check that out. You need to sign up through Patreon, and then you can join his Discord server, and that's where you download all of the textures and shaders and stuff are on his Discord. So that can give you some additional oomph out of the game, right? Because we got ray tracing, RTGI. Let's see where I got it. Am I missing it? Yeah, Solaris is one that you can buy. It's like a bloom, essentially. It's gonna make the game really, really shiny, essentially. Right, you can see it makes light basically shine more than it normally would. RTGI, right? I guess one other thing I didn't mention, you can also turn HDR on if you go to HDR settings, or at least I have Windows 11 and allows you to do that. Right, choose your monitor, turn HDR on. You can hit the calibrate button, and it's going to lead you to allow you to calibrate it. If you go, and then once you download it, it basically looks like this. Because this is going to alter your contrast, essentially, like your dark and your brightness and stuff like that. Go to open, get started. Right, we want this to be disappeared and not visible. We want this to not be visible and disappear. I usually turn it once it's gone. I usually will turn this up a little brighter because HDR is kind of dark. And then the same thing with this. You want it to be disappeared. I usually go to like maybe 2000, slightly more on the brighter end, and then this sets the contrast. As you can tell, if I go from the right, it gets way more colorful. So we want more. At least these are my preferences. Finish, and I'll use these. Westman, yeah, that's my rival, dude. He comes across. He comes east of the Mississippi River, and he's going down. So then, obviously, when you go back in the game, we have our HDR on, and they have an HDR effect too. So you don't have to use it through Windows. They have their own. It's a free version. I personally really like HDR. You can turn it up and down, so you can just play with it, see what you like. I like around 14 on this game. MXAO is a good one. That's essentially just gonna make things have more shadows. Right, so we'll see our character. You just see around the neck. Like, watch, I'll turn it up. Where'd it go? I don't give a fuck setting. As you can see, just look around the neck and stuff. Even the trees. It basically just adds shading to everything. I usually keep this pretty low. I guess like right now we're running at 60. That's a thing. Like, you can use ray tracing on this and stuff like that with the RTGI Solaris on. But you're gonna take a huge frames dump basically, and the RTGI isn't necessary. You can HDR essentially does some very similar concept to the RTGI, except you're only losing like 2 frames for doing it. The ray tracing will drop your frames by like 30 to 40 frames. So to me, it's just not worth it, even though that's the one I paid for. Obviously, it's something that'll work better in newer games because you're trying to polish 20-year-old graphics. It just doesn't really work very well. But personally, it looks pretty good once you get the HD patches installed, get Reshade going. The game looks pretty decent. But that's all I really got. I'm gonna end it here. If anyone has any questions, drop it in the comments. I'll reply and try to help people out as best I can. Pretty new at it too, but essentially I had a video where I ran into a bunch of issues, and this is my video solving all those issues because I took the time to figure it all out. So hopefully this helps some people. So all right, I appreciate it. Peace out. Mac, get on Fortnite, Mac.